welcome back to the channel. We're here again on the SE500 cab. We've already done some welding as there and some up here, which you'll see in the video. You follow us right here. We've got a bit to do at the back here. Type of weld I'd be looking for. I'm quite happy with that. You know, this metal is the gauge on it there. That's my thumb. So now she's cooled down and we've got good penetration all the way through the metal. So that's the reverse side. So that's the side what you'll see, which as you can tell sometimes they don't need much polishing up. They are quite, you know, flush with the metal. Like I said, I always go back over it there just to make sure I've got the weld. So when we're welding, we use a 3-phase Migos, which we're using 1mm wire. I was going to get it settled first, so I'll just put my goggles on. You know, the best of your ability. If you're happy, you don't feel happy with it, take it back off. Okay. So what we'll do, we'll get that section in there next. As you can see, that's all finished. So what we're going to do, what we're going to try and achieve today is we're going to try and achieve this little bit here. This little bit here where we're going to actually cut that piece out there. What we're going to do first is we're going to run the grinder up it, cut that out, get it all down to good metal and find out where we're actually going to be on the metal. So that's where we're going to be on this section here today. So that's the section we're going to be on there. So we're just going to be about there. We've cleaned all the way down to the metal. Can you see where it's gone black here? Where the blackness is. Well, that's obviously where the metal's changing its structure and it's rot. So what we have to do is take that out. So what we're doing is taking all that out because it'll only come back. And a lot of people say, oh, leave it doesn't matter. I'm a great believer, if it's rotten, let's get it out. But as you can see, it's colour, it's black. So let's just take it out. It's not costing anything. We're not saving on any more time than what we have to because we still got to make the patch. So the best thing is to remove it, get the skin off. So what we're going to do now, we're going to cut that section out and then we're going to remake it. So here we go. So we use a thing called slip chisel, which is a very thin chisel and it's slightly curved, as you can see. So you can get under the panel. So what you do, you place it under the panel that you want to take off. It'd be a chisel, look. You just literally can peel it off. We can get behind the rock there, you can just chisel that off there. This chisel is made for this job. These are about 40 quid off Mac Tools, Snap-on, places like that. They're really sharp. You can hit them on the side because they've got, as you can see, the chamfered on the side, so you can tap sideways. They're really useful tool if you're doing bodywork or metalwork on a car. I swear by them, I have seen them. It's how easy it can go through the metal. It's so easy. So there you go, that piece is literally off. it's out of the way. There's a bit of a old sealant, what's when they've done it from factory, which is inside there. All Escorts have. They bond the panels on. But when we come underneath, we have to replace that now, so that's why I only take what I need to take off. I leave good metal on the car. There's no point taking good metal and trying to replace it with a brand new quarter. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that piece, so there is no point. There's a little section there which is not the end of the world, but this section we've got to remake. So what I do, same thing, grind it up. Let's see where we lie with the metal. You get your goggles on, always safety first. I've got a little bit of extraction on here. Let's get rid of this thing. We do have extraction in here, so let's get rid of this. So as you can see there, there's plenty of good metal in there. So what we'll do now, we'll clean that edge up, get rid of that section there, from about there down. And we'll take that piece out and we'll remake that piece. As you can see, that piece is quite solid up there. So what we'll do, we'll take some of that off and then we'll make this section. I'll cut this out now, so I'll time lapse it for you when we cut it out. See there, off the piece very easily. Got a tiny hole there and a bit of section to make there and a little piece there. What I generally do, means rule of thumb, the piece I've cut off is the piece I'm going to make. So I might as well use that piece to make my new piece. So let's go over to the bench, cut a piece of metal, and let's start making this and shrinking it and getting it looking something like. Is get the piece what we're going to make. And what I'll generally do is end up with like a bit of a shape what I'm going to start with. We'll get it on the guillotine. To the lines rough where I want it. That's the shape I want. That's what I'm aiming for. Yeah. So I know it bends that way and it bends that way, so what I have to do is put my bends in. So we'll go over to the folder now and we'll put this back fold in. I want the line to go, so I know it's going to be there. So rough it in. So I roughly want my line around there, so that's where I'm going to put it. So this is a finger folder, so got individual fingers for different size things. It's a really good folder, so what I do, line it up, get a bit of a fold, pull it out, and this is giving me the shape I want, which is that. Which then get my piece back, as you can see there now, there's my angle, so now I need to put that angle in. So I need another one roughly about there. So same width all the way up. So what I generally do is get my line and run it in. I tend to eye everything in. Put my line on, something like. Things a bit excessive for a panel what you're not going to see, but I like them right. So as you can see, the panel's coming to shape now, look. So what I have to do now is fold it again, which is there. So there. So I'll get the line in again. Want it to look something like. So we'll rough that in, bend that round, and then that'll be our panel nearly done. And then what we have to do is do a bit of hammering, a bit of fettling with it. So as you can see, I'm getting the shape back into the panel now, what I need. Look, it's coming. We'll dolly it all up in a bit. That fits nicely in there now, so all I've got to do now really is put this little bend in here. There's a slight bend there, so I'll put that in, and all I've got to do now is trim it up so it looks all the same width all the way along. So what I've got to do is go back over to there, trim that edge off so it's parallel to all the way down. So we'll go over to a trimmer, trim that up, and we'll start trying to fit this part. So we're back over at my bench guillotine. So what I've got to do, I've got to trim that. What I do, I place it in, get it lined up. So I get my nice straight edge back down there. So that's my edge. So that's my panel nearly completed. In what, less than 2 minutes? So I'll bend around. Then what we'll try and do, we'll try and get this panel looking something like inside the car, and then we'll manipulate it from there. So we'll go back over to the car now. Back of the car. What we're going to do, we're going to try and put that panel in there. Look at that, it's nearly fitted already. Yeah, so we've got a bit more fettling to do, and she'll be right. So I'll just tap her about now. As you can see there, she's nearly in. And that only took pretty much seconds. Panel's nearly in there now, so there's my edge, there's my other edge, there's my line. This one's manipulating a bit more about, but yeah, she's nearly in. I'll just tap her about now. So what I've done there, put a set of grips on it just to hold it, so I can get the shape in her. So now what I'm trying to do now, just get that edge back in there nice and tidy. You can see that piece, literally minutes to make. Then what we've got to do, we'll trim her back up here when she's in, tack her in, and then let's get her looking something like. So I'll put a few tack welds on that for you. So what I'm going to do is just tack her in place. There and there. Place there now, so she's really almost solid as it is. So what we're doing is just going to run a small weld in there now, get that welded in, and that'll be it for today. Back on this panel here now, this is what we're going to put on today. So what we've done, get a cardboard, piece of cardboard, make ourselves a template, place in there, draw around, you get the right shape, and then what we're going to do is make ourselves a panel. After you've done your template, you place it on your steel. Then you get your marker. Quickly draw around it. That's what we want to cut out. So, there you go. We've got to cut that out. So place it in there. Use your guillotine to you. And then rough her out. Turn it round. And you will get it to come out of it, even though it's got a straight cut on these. There's the panel cut out. So what we've got to do now is get the rest of the shape in the panel now, so we have to put the creases in the folds in it, so we'll go over to that section now. So what we've done, we've got the panel cut there now. So this is only a rough cut of the panel. What we have to do is place the panel in there, and then what we have to do is manipulate it into place where we're going to bend it. So what I generally do, is put a line on there of where we're going to do it, so it stays. I don't have to put a fold there. So this will need shrinking this. So we're back on this panel now, so we've got to put a fold in it there. So, well, we're going to fold it the wrong way there, aren't we? So we'll turn that round. Fold in. So there's your panel bent. There's your line, so we know it fits there. But as you can see there now, there's a curvature to it, so we have to shrink that in or stretch it, whichever you want to do. So we'll do that now for you, and then we'll show you that section done. It's like getting a bend. You see the curvature right there. What I tend to do is use my fingers a lot more. So what I'll try and do is get as much as I can by hand. And the panel's not far off fitting there, look. So I'll do draw around it, I'll get a nice shape out of it, and then we'll get the compressor on and do a test fit on that now. So yeah, she fits in a lot better, a lot tighter. We'll put a clamp on there now, clamp her up, line that in, line. It's all done now, so we'll get this arch, see if she fits on. And so we've fabricated the piece back in here now. So we'll just try the arch on, see if she fits, see if she lines up. So this is the spare arch I have. I'll put the arch on. Lines up there, and there you go, she fits.